Hello everyone, welcome to today's news chatter. Before beginning with the prelims question, recently there have been a lot of news about the Chinese opposing the Prime Minister's visit to Arunachal Pradesh. And generally students ask this doubt to me, why Chinese are very aggressive when it comes to border management? Why are they trying to take the places of countries such as India or Vietnam or Philippines, etc.? See, the locations are very important, especially when you are such a big country. Let me give you a very good example. In 1961, when the parliament was discussing about possible Chinese intrusion into the Aksai Chin region of Ladakh, the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru at that time woke up and he said, "Why are you so much worried about Ladakh? The Aksai Chin region of Ladakh is located at 17,000 feet height, and not even a single blade of grass grows there." So there was a very famous parliamentarian, his name Mahavir Tyagi from Uttarakhand. He woke up, he had a complete bald head. So he woke up and said, Prime Minister, not even a single hair grows in my head. Does that mean my head has no value? So this is how the geopolitics has to be treated. You have to be very careful when it comes to locations. So in 1962, the immediate next year, what happened is the Chinese intruded into Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh. They came up with their weapons and they started the Indo-China War. So this is why you have to be very aggressive when it comes to managing your border. And this is a lesson India has to take from China. We do not have to claim others' territory, but when it comes to our territory, we have to be very aggressive in protecting it. So let's start with the prelims practice question of the day. News should be given too much importance. You have to be very careful about such news. Whenever any action is taken against a food particle, or if any action is taken against a particular chemical or against a particular technology, there is a very high scope of getting that question in your prelims examination. So rhodamine B, which was used in foods such as cotton candies, was banned in some states recently. In Puducherry and Tamil Nadu, they banned it. So which among the below mentioned statement is or are incorrect? You need to have a complete idea about the chemical. The first statement, this compound is water soluble. Of course, that is the reason they are using it in food. Second one, it is non-biodegradable. Usually, when it comes to these kind of materials which are banned, people think that it is not biodegradable, and that's why the government is banning it. Actually, it is used in food because it is biodegradable and it can be completely soluble also. It is used to study water flow in river, yes, because it gives out a very high color, very contrast color. It is used to study the pattern of water flows in rivers. It is used in lipstick, yes, because it has very high contrast color. It is used in lipstick. Apart from this, further information which you should be knowing about it is banned because it can cause respiratory problem. It is banned because it can affect directly the brain cell. So it can cause serious harm to the brain of the people, and especially when children are having it, they are highly vulnerable to it. That's why it has been banned. The first topic of the day, Anusandhan National Research Foundation. So earlier we had the Science and Engineering Research Board. Science and Engineering Research Board was there recently. What the government has done is the government has scrapped the Science and Engineering Research Board Act of 2008, and they have come up with Anusandhan National Research Foundation Act 2023. So what change has happened? Nothing much, to be very honest. Nothing much has happened until and unless we see a lot of development in research. We cannot tell that it is a successful scheme. However, the Science and Engineering Research Board was very old. It was outdated. It was started in 2008, and it has not given any good output. And that's why the government has come up with Anusandhan National Research Foundation. So what this National Research Foundation is going to do, it is going to have a governing body, a governing board. The board will be headed by the Prime Minister himself. who are all the other members apart from Prime Minister who will be there? The Union Minister of Science and Technology, Union Minister of Education. These two people will be the vice presidents. Very easy. It is about science, so the Union Minister of Science will always be included. It is about research, so research is mostly done in universities and colleges. So the Union Minister of Education will also be included. Because these two are cabinet ministers, they are also the vice presidents. Apart from this, the principal scientific advisor of the government of India is a member secretary. Secretaries to Department of Science and Technology, Biotechnology, and Scientific and Industrial Research. All these people are included in this. The foundation will also have a executive council. So it is this executive council which will say we can fund for this particular project or we should not be funding for this particular project. That information or that confirmation can be provided only by the executive council. Who will be heading the executive council? The principal scientific advisor of the country will be the chairperson of the executive council. So when it comes to executive council, it is the principal scientific advisor. Whereas when it comes to the governing board, it is the prime minister who will be the head. Two vice presidents are there. One is the Minister of Science and Technology. Second one, the Minister of Education. Try to remember that properly. About simultaneous election has been discussed uh, in a greater detail in several of our sessions, but the recent developments should be known to the aspirant. So Ramnath Kovind committee has given its report to the government in which it has told that we can go forward with simultaneous election. So the 2024 election will not be simultaneous. It will be as per what has happened until now. But maybe from 2029, we will get to see simultaneous elections. So simultaneous election means election at the same time for Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. So too many complications are there. How do we align all these things? Because some states go on election just 1 year before the Lok Sabha election. So what will you do in such cases? So these are all certain clarifications which we need to know. But what recommendation Ramnath Kovind committee has provided is important if you are getting a question on mains. So they have told that we can go forward with simultaneous election. We can do it in two steps. The first step will be election to the Lok Sabha and State Assembly at a time. Then, after 100 days, we can conduct the elections of municipal and panchayat bodies at the same time. Throughout the country, municipal and panchayat elections will also happen. So, it is a very big scale election. We don't know how it will be practical. So, it is for the government to suggest and tell how they are going to conduct it. Apart from this, the Law Commission has also been asked whether we can go forward with simultaneous election. So we are waiting for the confirmation from Law Commission also. Apart from this, the Ramnath Kovind committee has also told if there is a hung assembly or if there is a no confidence motion which has been passed, in such cases, what should we do? In such cases, we can go forward with fresh elections, but it will be for the remainder of the term. So, for example, if there is a state and the government has been happening for 2 years, and suddenly there was a no confidence motion, and the government failed to pass the no confidence motion. Now, again, elections will be conducted, and the new government will be set up, but it will be only for the remaining 3 years. After 3 years, a new election will be conducted. So, this is what the uh, committee has recommended. And apart from this, we need to go forward with multiple amendments. So, what are all the amendments that is required? First is Article 83, which deals with duration of the Houses of Parliament. Article 172 deals with the duration of the state legislative assemblies. Article 324A, it talks about the panchayat and municipal bodies election. Article 325, he talks about the election commission. So election commission should be provided the power to start preparing electoral rolls for state elections and the Lok Sabha election at a time. So four important amendments has to be done, and all these amendments because it includes a state also, it will be a special amendment. So it will be with two-third majority of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and then two-third, 50 percentage of the state assemblies should also pass the legislation. So these are all the major points. One important scheme which has to be discussed, because the Prime Minister, wherever he goes for a rally, he keeps talking about this particular scheme, PM Swanidhi scheme. Swanidhi is for the street vendors. The government has finally considered that street vendors are one important sector when it comes to the day-to-day economy of the country. So until now, around 62 lakh beneficiaries have benefited from the scheme. Apart from that, 11,000 crore has been provided. So what is this scheme? First point, it is a central sector scheme. It is not centrally sponsored. Directly the central government is providing. It is implemented by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This should be known. The term of the loan is, first, a person who is applying for the loan will get 10,000 rupees. Once he repay it properly, he can avail another term of 20,000 rupee. If he repay it properly, then he can get a loan of 50,000 rupee. This is how it will go. So why have we divided it into multiple term? Is because this scheme doesn't need any collateral. This is the reason we have come up with multiple terms, because we do not need any collateral for the person to avail this scheme. Leading agencies. So because it is about street vendors, we cannot tell big banks only can give the loan. So we have told that even microfinance institutions, NBFCs, self-help groups can lead the scheme. They can also provide the loans. And it is only for those states which has passed the Street Vendors Act 2014. Street Vendors Act was passed by the central government in 2014, but several states have not passed it yet. They have not introduced rules also. So the government is telling you first do this, then you become eligible for this scheme. And one important point is it is rewarding to those people who are repaying the loans on time. So on timely or early repayment of the loan means an interest subsidy of 7% will be provided per annum, and it will be deposited to the bank account directly of the street vendors biannually. I'm sorry, twice in a year. So this is how the scheme will work. Mains practice question of the day, very simple. Explain the possible implementation problems of simultaneous election. We have discussed it multiple times, so I don't think we need to explain anything here. You can easily write an answer. It is just a 10-mark question. You can come up with the answer very easily. About rhodamine B. Sorry, this we have discussed in our practice question, so we will not explain about it now. We'll go to the mains pointers of the day. Reading disability. So about reading disability, the ACER report, the annual status of education report, ACER, which is given out by Pratham, which is a NGO, tells clearly how disabled our students are when it comes to education. So just by enrolling in the school, we cannot tell that our students are educated, our children are educated. We can tell that they are educated only if we get to know for sure that they are able to read, they are able to do calculations, they are able to understand the concepts, right? So this particular survey is very important, especially for your mains. You can quote these statements very well. So annual status of education report 2023 states that 86.8% of children of 14 to 18 year of age are enrolled in educational institutions. So it is not even talking about the primary schools. It is talking about 14 to 18. So they are already enrolled, but the problem is they are not even able to read class 2 level text of their own language, not in English, in their own language, and understand. One fourth, that is 25% of the students in 14 to 18-year age is not even in a position to read and understand a class 2 textbook. So this is the situation of education in the country. So that will be all for today. All the best. Study well. Let's meet tomorrow.